Hello everyone. Let me just cover that up real quick. My little light. All right. Let me just make sure that I can see me. There I am. All right. So I'm Kathy, the Backyard Stamper. And tonight I thought it would be kind of fun to show you how I refill my Wink of Stellas. So the Wink of Stella adds glitter to your project. And every project needs a Wink of Stella. I'll show you a couple samples of things I just made, and I added the wink to them. Okay, I'm getting ready for a Christmas in July class. So I have this snowman card. Oops, my measurements. And if you can see, there's the Wink of Stella. See that little glimmery? I love that. It's great about the snow too. See it on the snowman? And then here's another card for my class. And this one, the birds are winked up. See, there you go. You can see that. So I love adding that little touch to my projects. Sometimes, since I make a lot of cards and I use my Wink of Stella on almost every card, I go through it pretty quickly. So let me just see if I can find it here in the book. Let's see here. Because sometimes you need it and it might be out of stock. It's so popular that it does go out of stock quickly. Oh, I can't seem to find it. Can somebody help me that is out there? Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. It is probably right in front of me and I can't see it on here. Well, we'll move on, and then when somebody can help me find it, I'll turn to that page because I don't see it right now. And I had trouble looking for it in the index. Okay, so this Wink of Stella is pretty empty. And sometimes you can hold it up to the light and see that it doesn't have much stuff in it. This one actually isn't my worst one, but it's the one I'm going to show you with. Let's see this one here. See, you can kind of see, you might not because of the way the lighting is, but I can see that it's dark, so I know I've filled that one. This one has some stuff. Let me check. I just refilled them. So this one would be good. Okay. So let me just pull up a chair here. I just got done from mowing my parents' lawn and ran back home and had to feed the dog. So I am like, been running around. Hi, Kim. I couldn't find the Wink of Stella, what page it's on. So if you happen to see it and can tell me what page it's on in the book, that would be great. So the Wink of Stella is an alcohol based glitter pen, and when you get it in your package, let me see if I have a brand new one. I don't think I do. When you get it brand new, there's a black ring that sits right here, and that is just you need to take it off, unscrew this, and take the black ring off. What it does is it's a spacer so that this little doodad thing can't poke through to the glitter pen and cause it to leak all over. So inside there's a little stem on the pen part, and that goes into this chamber. So when I refill, so the first thing you want to do is when your Wink of Stella is dry, you just want to add alcohol. This is just regular alcohol, nothing fancy. You just want to add some to it because there's a cylinder in there that's filled with glitter, and sometimes the alcohol is what's dried out. So I'm going to use my little tweezer here. I'll show you. So see, this little chamber has glitter in it, and sometimes the alcohol that's in the barrel has evaporated. So what I do first, before I go to refill, is I use a pipette and I just add a little bit of alcohol. And I mean a little bit, because I don't know why that's on there like that. So I'm going to take this out. Let me bring in my scratch paper. I'll just lay that down. Usually I do this at the kitchen sink because it's a little messy. So I'm bringing in some alcohol, and I'm just going to drop a couple of drops into my chamber here. Helps if I pick it up with my pipette. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and that'll be enough, because the first one I didn't really get much. I can see how much I'm filling it because it's getting darker. You're not going to be able to see it probably with the camera. Okay, so then what I would do is I would put my glitter back in and shake it all around and put my pen back together, and I would get some more life out of it. But in this case, this chamber is really just about empty. There's hardly any glitter still in there. So I've already done this a couple of times to use up the glitter that's in the chamber already. And so I'm going to just set that right there. And then I'll show you what I do next. And this is just something to do in a pinch because, if they're readily available, it's always so great to get a new one. But if they are, if you're in the middle of a project, and I do at-home classes, so I go through a lot of Wink of Stella. So I want to try to refill and reuse until they're pretty much dead before I buy some more. So this is called Champagne Mist. We used to sell this, and you might still have it in your stash. And all I do is I pick up a little bit. See, not much. Wait a minute. Let me take my top off. So I just want to put some. This is so small of a chamber that it doesn't take much to get it in there. For some reason, I'm getting more on the outside of the pipette than in the pipette. It might be clogged. Just trying to get it in on the neck. It's like getting that last bit of peanut butter out of the jar. Okay, so see how much I filled that up? It was pretty empty. Let me see if I have a different pipette here. Let's see if this one will work just a little bit better, because I really want to show you. Oh yeah. So that pipette I think is clogged. So let me just put, I usually just put like two drops in it. So 2 or 3 drops at a time. All right. And I'll put that right in there. Like I said, I usually do this at the sink because it is a little bit messy. I'm going to put that back in. Okay. I'm going to bring my Wink of Stella back over, put everything back together, and Let me put the top on and give it a shake. Let me just get a wipe for my finger. Yeah, I use the pipettes, you know, all the time, and I don't always like clean them. I think that's what I need to do with that one because it looks like it might be clogged. All right, so let me just wipe up some of this. It's the champagne. Put my top on my alcohol so we don't have a situation. Put my top on the champagne mist. I'll leave that laying down like that. And let me just wipe these off for right now since I'm just going to leave them sitting over here. Okay, so let's see if I have a card that I can wink up for you. All right, so this is a card I made the previous week, and I'm going to add some wink to my the copper clay part of the plane. And just like normal, you would squeeze it to get it started. Let me bring this in. Just remember, you just filled it, so you don't want to over squeeze. See how you squeeze enough till you can see something in the barrel. So it's already in the barrel. And I can just quickly color. And I'm not squeezing anymore. There is enough on there. And sometimes it comes out a little fast, which can happen whether it's a new Wink of Stella or a refilled one. So you just gotta have the light touch and go with the flow. Put it on the propeller too. There. But see how sometimes you get like a little blob there? And it doesn't, once it's on, it doesn't really want to come off. What I did the other day was it was on my snowman, and I just colored over the spot a little bit there. So once it dries more, it will kind of disappear in. But see how nice that was? And that was pretty dry before. So let me show you the Stampin' blends now, because I just wanted to see. I like to experiment, right? And see if I can fix something or get something going to, you know, whatever. You know, it's just, I don't just run out and buy something new. I'm always looking to take it apart and see how it all works. So I'm going to set that aside. I showed you this, so I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to move all that out of the way. And let me get you a set of blends. So I literally just threw everything that was on my desk onto the floor because I was running so late. So it might take me just a minute. All right. So have you heard that people complain that our tips on our Stampin' Right markers don't hold up very well? You know, and they don't. But I'm going to show you a couple tips that I do. So, no, it was my crumb cake one. I think it's this one. This one was pretty dry. If I'm coloring, it's, let's see which one it was. I had one that was drier than the other one. So, okay, I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to say that I want to refill my crumb cake. It's getting light. So I am going to open the bullet tip, and using these little tweezers, these tweezers are for replacing the nibs. And I'm going to pull my nib out. See, just like that, not hard. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my re-inker. I have to find my crumb cake re-inker. Hold on one second. let's see here. Yes, okay. So I keep my my spots in, this is like a tool caddy or like a, yeah, I guess it's like a tool caddy bin. And I keep, so on this one I had Sahara sand and crumb cake, and it's got room for 4 spots and 2 re-inkers, or 2 spots and 3 re-inkers. So I keep my stuff in there, and they're up. I have a small room, so I really utilize my vertical space. Okay, so here's my Stampin', or my Stampin' blend, and I'm gonna just put literally 2 drops. 1, 2, and that's all I'm gonna put on there, okay? Because this is my light crumb cake. If it was my dark, I might do 4 drops. Now, we call these alcohol blending markers, but it's not alcohol solution in there. It's blending solution. So this is a blender solution for Copic markers, but guess what? We can use it on our markers. So I'm going to take that off here. And I'm gonna use my pipette that I think I cleaned off. That's the one that seemed a little clogged. Let me stick a pin in it. Okay, I think there was a little something in there. And I'm gonna just draw up there. Now I got some solution in there. I think I had a little clog in there. And I'm just gonna put a couple of drops in there. And the neck is pretty small, so you gotta like have some patience with it. Okay, so I put in, I don't know how many drops I put in. Sometimes it's just, you just need to re-wet what's in there without adding the re-inker, but if I'm gonna go through the trouble of taking it apart, I'm gonna refill it. All right, so then you put your top back on, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave that laying down, okay? And we'll give it a test in a few minutes. Let me show you the other tip. That's the part that everybody complains about, and rightly so. In fact, I don't use that tip. I tape them all shut. Because when I do my at-home classes, you know, and I have so many people using them, it might only last one class if I let everybody color with that tip. So I just tape it shut and tell everybody, use the bullet tip. That's how I color, and that's how I teach them how to color. But let me just take this off. So you see how nice my tip is, because it's a brand new tip. So looks beautiful. So this is a tip that I replaced. I got a couple bad ones in here. So let me show you what I did. Oops, let me put the top on this here. Okay. I got this on Amazon too, by the way. The blending solution. Okay. So this tip is made out of soft fabric, or I'm going to call it like a feathery material. It's not a feather, but, and in fact, so here's one that was totally dead. I took it all apart, and I wanted to see what was inside it. And there's nothing inside of it. There's no support for this tip, okay? It's just the tip wound and wound really tightly to make it look like that. But once those fibers get broken a little bit, it starts getting fatter and fatter. Now this one, because I pulled it out, you can get it all the way fat here, you know, down at the bottom. So I just wanted to see if there was any support. And the reason I was looking at that is because I was like, well, maybe I can replace the tip and start using them. So this here is a Copic marker tip, a nib. Okay, and let me just show you what it's made of. So it's got like a foam pen part, but inside, let me get my stylus here. Inside, it's got a plastic support. So I like to think of this as like a stay on your bodice, you know, if you're a sewer. And you know, like if you're wearing a strapless dress or anything, you need the stays to hold up your dress. Otherwise, there's, you know, you're gonna be sad with your malfunction. And so this is a Copic marker. So that's why when you hear people say their markers hold up better, is because they have support inside. I mean, I can push on it. I'm not going to break that tip. But if I push on this one, there's no support. That's the difference between ours and theirs. Now, so I experimented with replacing them. And, you know, I'm not sure it's worth it, guys, because the cost of the nibs, they cost about $3 a piece. Okay, now if we could get a single marker again, I wouldn't do it at all. But because I have to buy a double pack for $11, well, I might think about it. But I wrecked quite a few trying to figure out how to do it. So the way I did it, this is a Copic marker tip now that I've replaced. I refilled the chamber and it's works beautiful. Let me get some white. So colors like a dream. It's not, and this was this. Okay. Well, it might have been the dark one. This is the light one. And here's the light marker. So now this pen can be used where before it wasn't. Let me show you the dark one, because I think it will show up better. So here's my nib. Oh, look at that. Now, Kim sent me these markers because she beat it to death. And I said, do you have any of those? And she's like, yes. I said, send them to me. I want to try it. Because since I don't use my tips all look good. But look at how beautiful that is. So, this, I don't know if this is going to stand up to the test. I'm going to send them back to Kim and have her use them, because she is a super crafter. It's Kimberly Schmitt, the papered chef, and she will see if she can destroy them, but not really destroy. Just see if they'll stand up to normal wear and tear, which I don't think ours really do. They stand up to me using them, but they don't stand up if you're using them in a class. But to get these nibs to work, so I have my package of nibs, and let me just show you so I can just keep it real. So our nib, this is one of ours that was broken, okay? I think that's one of ours. Let me just check. This is one of ours. Kim cuts them down when they get old. See, look at, I can start unwrapping. I was like, what's that bump? And it's just the fabric. That's kind of like, I don't know, tape or something to hold it together. So this is that tip. And see the difference in this tip here? So the chamber, this wide part, is much lower. So if I go to put this in the barrel, and it stops down here. Now it's too long and my cap is going to hit the end. And the seam is right there. And that seam is where this would come apart. Okay? So it's not all one piece. It would be great if it was. Then you could really fuss. So in order to get this to fit in ours, I had to use a Dremel and Dremel out. So I used, I don't know which one I used. It's probably got green on it. So I used something like this, or something like this one, and I put it down inside, and I turned it, you know, it's got like a drill thing like this, and turned it on and just lightly ground out the opening. So I don't want to take my tip out to show you, but, and just enough, because I took it apart and I looked inside, and ours has like this spiky thing. So if you're looking down inside the barrel, here's the opening, and inside there's like these little plastic teeth, if you will. So that I couldn't get this thick part past those teeth unless I used a Dremel. And I kind of knocked them off just a little bit. Not, you know, I didn't grind them all the way down because then there's nothing holding it in. And then I could fit my piece in and push it past the line. So I wanted it to be, where'd my pokey tool go? Right here. I wanted it at least this line here, which is the seam, to be up against the opening. So on Kim's, you'll see how, I'll show you the difference here. Here's Kim's, right? It's even looks a little crooked because I didn't want to keep pushing it because I broke a couple pushing and pushing. But see how it's longer? So I didn't quite get it down all the way, but I didn't dare to keep pushing it or I was going to knock that this part off, and then I'm in the same situation. I got a marker that's broken. So, but it still fits in. It doesn't hit the top of the cap, so it's not going to get bent by putting the cap on. So after all that, then you fill it. I fill it. I put my tip in and I let it sit for as long as it took me to clean off the Dremel bit. And then I had it like that. And then I lay them flat like you always do. And I was good to go. So I did have to, the yellow one was really dry, so I had to work on this one a couple times. So look at how nice that tip looks. And that tip was this. Because Kim cut it down a little bit. So now, look at that. So it's got a different texture because it's foam. It's not the brush. So, you know, I don't know if you're really going to get it. This one was super dry. So like, this has so much ink in it, but it wouldn't like get on the tip. So there's something else going on inside the barrel. But this side works great. So one was a success, but the other one, it's not because it doesn't have enough ink. I put so much ink in it, and the other side works great. So Kim, you're gonna have to try them and let me know. But I'm not sure, this is why I was saying, I'm not sure it was worth the effort because I had the Dremel, I broke a couple. So my $3 tips, so say every other one I broke. So now it's a $4.50 tip. Plus, well, Amazon, it was free shipping. So for, you know, if you want to, I did it for fun. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I used to replace the tips on our brush tips on our old markers before we had blends. The Stampin' Right markers would get kind of gunky too, and I replaced those. Not with Copic ones. There was another brand out there, and they work great. I haven't tried them on the new ones because now that we have the blends, I don't use my old markers as much. So If you want to know why, this is why. So if they could maybe tape the tape, this is definitely tape. So there are some things engineer-wise that could be done to help this. This could be like a metal band or something to give it some support. But without the support, our tips are gonna fray. So, you know, if it bothers you, just use the bullet end. That's what I do. And or you can experiment and try refilling them and just know that you're going to wreck a couple before you get it right. So that's my tip for today. What do you think? Let me stop and say hi to you. Hello. Oh, Kim's on, so thank you, Kim, for being on. Carol from South Carolina, welcome. Oh yeah, Kim says she's gonna put in through the ringer. Hello, Christina Fullen. You're not late. There's never anybody late to my parties. So, yeah, so, you know, I'm gonna put this one is still a good one to use. I'll put that away. I still have a couple that I can keep experimenting with. Copic sells two different kinds of tips. So this one is called the Super Brush. I can't get my drawer shut. This one's called the Super Brush, and see, it's got that barrel. The classic brush does not have this fat part. It's got a metal ring right there, but I couldn't quite get it to fit, and I didn't have any when. And I was thinking, well, the metal tip might be not a metal tip, it is a metal band. That might work better, but I'd have to Dremel it out. And I didn't have any more of those because I wrecked all of those. I got one in Kim's that I sent to her already, which she hasn't had a chance to use. One success and the rest I wrecked. So, you know, you gotta, when you're experimenting, you gotta just know sometimes your experiments fail over and over before you get it right. It's kind of like with card making. Sometimes you're trying to get a design and it takes a couple times to get it just right. So, hope you guys like those tips. The Wink of Stella refill, I use that all the time. I mean, like I said, I wink up every single card I make. I use these in my classes, and yes, usually I put a piece of tape or something on when I've started refilling them, so I know if one of them's new or not. Most of mine are not new anymore. This one I don't have tape, but you can tell it's pretty gunky. So this one looks like it's probably my newest one. Look how nice and clean that is. Woo! I love it when they're new. But when you teach use the class, when you teach in-home classes and stuff, and you know you've got newer stampers, they don't understand sometimes. Don't press, you know, because it wrecks the tip, and then they're like, well, what kind of tip is this that it wrecks so easily? Well, I just don't want to go there, so I just tell them use the bullet side and color in small circles. So that's my class this week. Next week I'll be back, and hopefully I will have some Christmas cards to show you because I'm getting ready for my Christmas in July class, and we're going to be making 6 different cards. I can show you what I've got so far. So I've got my snowman one. I've got this one uses a new set that's coming out in the fall in our new catalog. Oh, I threw everything on the floor, so sorry. I gotta try to find it. So this one uses the Filled with Cheer. Oh, I love it. It's got the wagon that goes along with it too, so lots of fun. And then this one, it uses, I'm looking for it. Oh, I found it. Okay, so it uses this new set, Winterly Treetops, which I have this early because I participated in a Creativity Now event with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator event. So we were able to get this. This will be available to customers starting September 1st. So these are 2 cards. Here's another card. So what I was trying to do, I'm sorry, this is the card that we made in the Creativity Now. And I don't know where the Blackberry Bliss came from, but I changed it up and did, I colored my birds with Pool Party, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, and then I used the Choose Happy stamp set and did Choose Joy, and this is from designer paper. I haven't done the insides yet, but this looks just like the designer paper when it's, there's designer paper that can be cut out. So that, the Choose Happy is here. I wish it had Christmas or holidays as one of the words, because you've got the happy, but I did Choose Joy instead, because this set doesn't, the set that I'm using for the, doesn't have Christmas greetings. In the inside, I'll probably say thinking of you always, to show the versatility with the set. Neither one of these, oh yeah, this one has, did I do the inside of this one? Nope. Actually, I think I did, but I don't know where it is. Oh, and this is my second card. So I was hoping to make 2 different cards with the same stamp set. So I have this. This is the DSP, and the dies cut it out. This is using our new label die, which I love so much. I bought 2 of them because you can cut 3 at a time. And if you double your paper, you cut 6 at a time. So I'm cutting for classes, and that, to me, is humongous time saver. So I think it's somewhere around this Choose Happy here. This is the Choose Happy. I spilled coffee on my book, and I haven't had it replaced down at Staples with the binding, so my pages don't look pretty anymore, but I spilled my coffee. It went into my bag that had my laptop and my Stampin' Up! Catalog, so I said, grab the catalog instead of grab the laptop. But this here, labeled with love dies, they're 23. You get 3. They're identical. They're loose, not held together. I already lost 1, so I only have 5 now because I have 2. I bought 2 packages, and they're pretty good size. That's what this looks like. There's no stitching with it. It's just a label, but I like that. Christmas Wishes is a retired stamp set because we don't have our Christmas sets out yet. There's a couple carryovers in the book. Oh, and this is my second card. I have it already. Then I have that. This is DSP. If they didn't have a die to cut out, I used my scan and cut. This set does have a die. Oh, this one doesn't have a die because the die cuts this out. So there's a DSP that has the berries and the birds shaped like this. This one, I used my scan and cut to cut it out. But it comes with this really neat die that cuts this frame out, see, and it goes all around. And there's a couple cards that we made at the Creativity Now that shows the frame. So this one we made at the Creativity Now event. And yeah, so I did some Wink of Stella on my frame. So that's it, guys. So next week I'll be able to show you the rest of them, and hope I inspire you. Oh, hi Kim Hansen, thanks for coming on. Yes, I love them too, Kim. I love them. So, oh, here's what they look like. I put them in my bin. This is the one that I lost one of them on. But it's the labeled with love dies. So when I'm getting ready for a class, I take everything off my table that I use to make my sample, and I put it in a bin. So these are going in a bin like this. So I just have it sitting there. I haven't cut my cardstock for the class, but then I know that's what I need everything for. So I'll have to put this stuff back and my markers, because that's what I use to color my snowman. I gave him some little pink cheeks. He's so cute. This is red with boho blue. I love the combination. So then my second card's going to use the wagon, because I did another card with the wagon. It's called Filled with Fun. And that is this. These are online exclusive sets. They're available now. The dies cut out the wagon from both sets. So both wagons, oh my goodness, put that over there. Both wagons, and you got the side panel if you want to just make the wagon without stamping it. And the banner here cuts the banner there, and it cuts the light string out. Isn't that neat? And you got your wheels still cut out, and they give you two, which is nice. You can cut both out at once. So there you go. So you get one set of dies, but you get two stamp sets you can use it with, which I love that. So, all right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Oh, be sure to like and share my video too. It really helps me grow my channel. Thanks. Bye now.